Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Petco Park. We thank you very much for joining us today on this very special day for the San Diego Padres and for our entire community of San Diego. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter in the history of this franchise as we officially introduce you to Kwanza Jones and Jose E. Feliciano as the new owners of the San Diego Padres. To begin today's program, we welcome Padres Chief Executive Officer Eric Ribner.
Thank you, Don, and thank you all for being here today. Today is a historic and exciting day in the history of the Padres franchise. On behalf of everyone in the Padres organization, I am here and honored to welcome Jose E. Feliciano and Kwanza Jones as our new owners. Kwanza and Jose bring extraordinary leadership, experience, vision, heart, and a competitive fire to the Padres. I'm excited for the future and all that we will accomplish under your leadership. So it's my privilege to officially announce Jose and Kwanza and welcome them as our new owners into the Padres family. Please give them a warm San Diego welcome. Jose and Kwanza would like to say a few words before we open it up to your questions.
Thank you, Eric. We'll keep it brief, but today is it's a dream come true. It's an amazing day for us, and we're very grateful, very honored to be here with you and to celebrate today as now the newest members of the Padres family. First, I would like to acknowledge and recognize and honor Peter Seidler. He has built a legacy here, he has left a legacy here that we're very proud of. And he has left this team, this club, this community, this city in an incredible place, and we're just lucky and very fortunate to be the stewards of that legacy. But of course, we want to move that forward. We want to create new memories and hopefully continue that legacy in a way that honors it and furthers it. I'll be remiss if I don't thank a lot of the people that got us here or that helped us get here. So I would like to thank, first of all, again, the Padres organization, Eric, AJ, a lot of the Padres staff, employees, and team members, Commissioner Manfred, our fellow owners who voted unanimously for us, thank you. We would like to thank, but most of all, we would like to thank the city and the fans. We understand baseball, we understand sports, and we understand that the Padres, this organization, is nothing without the fans. And we're here for you, we're here as part of this community, and we cannot promise that we're gonna win. We hope that we're going to win, but we can promise that you're going to have our full dedication, engagement to try to make that happen. And hopefully, in our stewardship, which hopefully lasts for a very long time, we will have a lot more things to celebrate. So with that, I would love to introduce my lovely wife and partner, Kwanza Jones.
So you all may be wondering, how does this work? Like, not the mic, this work. Thank you, Jose and Eric and AJ and all of the Padres team and all of you all for being here. When Jose mentioned we are, I'm paraphrasing, thrilled and overjoyed and excited, maybe those were my words, he said it with a little bit more reserve. I cannot even express it. Like, it's very difficult for me to sit in my seat, but I'm going to stay here for just a minute because we've got to answer some questions. But I simply wanted to say thank you, because what happens, as you all know, and I say this often, no one succeeds alone. The Padres are not where we are. You see, now we're part of the family, so we get to say we. All those months when we couldn't quite say it yet, we're so excited now. We're not where we are without each other. We're not where we are without the leadership, without baseball operations, without the players, without the city, without the community, without the fans, without the front office, the back office, without the reporters and the press and the media. We need each other. And that's what Jose and I together have built a life on understanding that it is together. And when we are all in, and you all heard the song as we walked in, we are all in. It's not lip service. Just as when you do the work that you do, and you do the work you do, and all of you all do the work that you do, we take it as a baseline that in everything everyone does, you're all in. And for Padres, we are. And we are absolutely committed to this organization, and we are absolutely overjoyed. And we understand, if you heard it, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna win and win it all. We hope it's sooner rather than later. But again, I will keep it really pretty short. I do want to again thank not only the Padres team and organization that's here, I also want to thank some of our families and our friends and our family office and all the folks that work with us that have been part of this journey to even get us here, because it's a lot of number crunching, it's a lot of doing a lot of things to get us to this place. So again, just thank you all. Thanks to the Kwanza Johnson Jose Feliciano Initiative team. Thanks to the Supercharged team. And most importantly, thank you all thus far to Padres and San Diego and the Baja communities for welcoming us so much. We appreciate you so much.
We'll now open it up to the floor for questions. We have microphones on both sides of the room currently, Darren and Vanessa. Please raise your hand, wait for the microphone, and then we will call on you. We'll start today with Kevin Acey from the San Diego Union Tribune.
Kwanza Jose, you've spoken very highly of Peter, that legacy. When we look back and however long it is, what will be the legacy that you hope that we're all talking about from your ownership?
Oh, go ahead, Jose. Kevin, thanks for starting us off right there.
Thank you, Kevin, for the easy question. So I think there are two aspects of it. I think hopefully we look back and we'll see that, kind of we even deepen the tie with the community. We have become engaged and part of that community, right? Kind of, and again, Kwanza said it, we are part of that and that's much broader, honestly, than sports or baseball. But listen, I'm a lifelong baseball fan. I won't tell you which team I used to root for, but right now I root for the Padres, and we need to win the World Series. It's that simple. That's what we're going to do.
And I'd add that so many people think of a legacy as what you leave. I think of a legacy as what you live. So what that means is we need to constantly live, all of us. It's not just Kwanza Jose and the folks that are coming with us. It's all of us. So the legacy, in addition to winning a World Series, and in fact, multiples, we gotta get to one first. But the legacy that I anticipate we will be leaving and living is one where everything is elevated in San Diego, in the Baja communities, with the Padres organization, with the leadership, with the players, with the community, because again, it takes all of us. It takes all of us you can't have community without unity. It's in the word, so that is part of the legacy that we are going to live.
Yeah. As we start that journey, I think, you mentioned in your article, I think we want to continue that legacy that honestly Peter led, to dream big, to do the impossible, right? And as we discussed, right? Like, the impossible becomes possible when somebody does it. So let's do it.
Any Hobber?
This is a big undertaking. When you were first presented with the opportunity, can you give us a glimpse behind the scenes for some of those conversations? Were you both on board right away? Did it take some convincing? And how did you ultimately decide to go for it?
Wow. Well, anyone who's ever been in a relationship with anyone knows that conversations are important. And for us, we have had such shared dreams, goals, and visions for as long as I can remember, even back when we were at Princeton. And we always dreamed about what is the impact that we wanted to make. And being an athlete and having competed in Division I sports. Sports has always been part of, I will say, my DNA and what it does for a community, what it does for the world. So it did not take much for us to have to both come to the decision that, oh my gosh, wait a minute, the Padres are available? This can't even be real. We were shocked that this was an opportunity, and we also, and certainly I do, I'm a firm believer in synergy. It was the right moment at the right time for the right people. So it didn't take much for us to decide to jump right in.
Yeah, I would echo that. I think some decisions feel easier, more natural than others, and this is one where I felt it was the right fit, the right place, the right time.
And I will add one last thing. We were saving up for a long time. We had a lot of dry powder, and we're like, you know what? This is the place.
A few pennies here and there, right?
Exactly.
Can you just tell us about the song that you walked into? What was the background behind that? And did you write that?
Oh, yes. Yes, I did with some of our team that's also here. So, how many of you all saw that game not too long ago? And that catch that Tatis Fernando did? Ah, okay. So you heard in the song that part that goes, shh, let's go. That was part of that inspiration, that catch. Shh. And then he's like, ha-ha, guess what? Gotcha. So I've worked with some of our team, they're like family. It's been 10, 15 years, and the inspiration was the minute, it was actually shortly after we first met you. And it was like, Jose, this is it. We're all in. We are all in for the Padres, all in for San Diego, all in for the Baja community. And again, when we do something, we are committed, we're all in. So it was just for us natural to say like, okay, not only do we believe it, we are so much more than lip service, because some people are only that. We are about living it. So it was a natural extension. And what is sports? What is sports? Do people like to be entertained? Do people like to be amused? Do people like to feel something? That's part of what the Padres has done. It helps move people, and that's part of what music does. So when we look at sports and media and entertainment, and we know Petco is not just the baseball game. It's so much more. So we just wanted it to really show that we truly understand the breadth of all that is offered here.
My only musical talent is my name, so I did not. I did not sing it.
But I did ask. I literally, I was like, well, say it, come on, you're gonna come to the studio and put some vocals down. And he said, I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, humbly asked to please add my middle initial so I'm not get confused with the singer.
Oh, right, exactly.
Jake from CBS8.
Jose, Kwanza, Jake Urani from CBS8 here in San Diego. Nice to meet you both and welcome. In your guys' original statement, when you first were announced as the owners, you guys said that you wanted to invest aggressively but intelligently. I'm curious if you could elaborate on what your guys' financial plan is for the roster when you look at trying to compete with other teams in baseball.
So I'm gonna correct something really quickly, and then I'm gonna let Jose, or maybe I'll take it. Jake, you said aggressively but intelligently. I wish we had said that. That's beautiful. I'm like, there it is. We said ambitiously and judiciously, but we will take aggressively and intelligently, because I do think it is synonymous with how we are thinking of continuing to grow and build and be competitive. But do you want to take some of that?
Yeah, obviously, I don't want to sound like the baseball executive here. We'll work with AJ, we'll work with Eric. We have been blessed with a team in a city that is supporting us in a way that is allowing us to invest back in that team, in the stadium, and that city, and we're committed to doing that. And again, I think we are going to live, within our means, and that could mean different things in different years. But again, we want to win, and we're going to continue supporting that goal in many different ways. And that means that at some moments, to use your phrase, we're going to be aggressive. Some people might look at that way, but we're always going to do it, kind of with keeping the long-term health of the team in mind. And I think those are things that we're going to balance, but we're thinking about this in not only next week or next series, we're thinking about this, in seasons, decades. And I think our commitment to this city and to this team is that we're going to continue to do that, and again, hopefully win along the way.
And then a quick follow-up, if you don't mind. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say the key thing to understand is that, and Eric, you said it, we are competitive. You don't get to do what we do unless you are competitive. And it's important for all of you all to understand that. We want to win. What does that look like? It may take a lot of different pictures, scenarios of what it could be. And we will see, but please understand how competitive.
In your short time around this fan base, what have you two noticed about this fan base?
Well, I think, first of all, I would say that even in our short tenure, we have been very welcome. So the fan base and the city has been extremely welcoming. I feel already a warmth, that I honestly kind of haven't felt perhaps since my days of growing up in Puerto Rico. So I think it's that warmth that exudes this city. And number two is that even though kind of you hear terms about being a small market, quote unquote, and kind of the confines of the city, but when you think of San Diego, the Baja community, first of all, we're small and mighty, but more importantly, that story, that idea resonates with us, right? The idea that maybe people underestimate us, people don't think that we're capable of doing what we have done, including winning the bid for the Padres. That motivates us. And I see that same grit, that same resilience, that same will to kind of overcome or to kind of surprise people that underestimate us. You see that as recently as Saturday, right? Kind of that comeback win, right? How amazing is that? But this team doesn't give up, and this city doesn't give up, and we won't give up either.
AJ Casabell, MLB.com.
Guys, welcome to San Diego.
Thank you.
Just wondering, like, your kind of view on kind of the idea of owner of the team is obviously a complex thing. How do you view what that is to you, and what you will do with that?
Well, I like to say I like to do hard things. And if everybody could do it, everybody would be doing it. This is not for the faint of heart. You know this, AJ, you know this, Greg, you know this, all of us know this. It's not for the faint of heart. So we go in eyes wide open, understanding that to really be great at something, you must invest. Not just, I'm not just talking an investment of money and capital. I'm talking an investment of time. I'm talking an investment of education, an investment of dedication. So when we look at how much we do know, and we spend a lot of time, thank you, Eric. I just have to, again, say thank you, because you made it very easy for us to get to understand within the confines of what we could during the process that was leading up to this. But I have to tell you, I'm so excited for this. I'll say this being day one because it's the official welcome, although it's technically day 3 because Friday is when the closing actually occurred, Friday afternoon.
Team is undefeated.
We're gonna win. Don't quote us because we don't win on 1 or 2 things. But again, I look at this as day 1 or day 3, or just let's say the beginning of really being able to now fully dive into even more, and that excites me. Right before we sat and came into the room, we got this amazing owner's manual. And think about an owner's manual like for, I don't know, a vehicle or for an electronic device. An owner's manual for the Padres. Imagine what that entails. Imagine how exciting it is to dig into that, to really, really become part of that fabric and DNA. So is it gonna be difficult? Yes, and I expect it to. And I'm ready for it.
Just to kind of follow up on that.
Yeah.
Your assessment of the team and the organization that you're buying in,
Yes.
what would anticipate your involvement being in this group?
Yeah, big. So first of all, I would just mention that we have already experienced kind of in the ownership of teams in
Yeah.
some pretty significant leagues around the world. So we're not rookies from that perspective. We understand that. I think our first job is to learn. To learn a lot about the league, about the Padres, about the people in the organization, and I should say to learn and listen. And then over time, I think we'll formulate, kind of, obviously strong opinions about some things, and we'll defer to the experts on others. I think, like any owner in any business, you must at some point, hopefully early on, establish clear direction, clear goals. And then when we're deviating from that direction or goals, and at times life happens, you have to do that. We'll chime in. We'll provide additional direction and objectives. There'll be some decisions that will be intimately involved in the nitty-gritty, and others that perhaps will delegate or be a little bit, kind of less intimately involved. But at the end of the day, kind of our job is to be good stewards of this team, for this city, and for the Baja communities, and to do that, with that long-term perspective that owners, multi-generational owners, need to have.
We all have to serve somebody, and we know we're serving the fans. We want to win.
Alden Gonzalez, ESPN.
Over here. Hi.
It's like-
This is for Kwanza and Jose. Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I was curious. So the Padres, obviously, on one side, they're in a great market. They have a lot of fan interest. Their attendance is through the roof right now. On the other side, they're a team that has a lot of big contracts on its payroll. They don't currently have a local media deal. I'm curious, as people who obviously were deep in the weeds on this and ultimately bought the team, how did you view the pros and cons of the Padres right now as an investment?
I'll start and then I'll let you take more of it. We wouldn't be sitting in this seat if we didn't think there was an incredible opportunity here. And not an incredible opportunity for, we're just gonna make all this money. But an opportunity to really grow, expand, and there's a whole concept of a double bottom line. A double bottom line being a return on investment as a financial investment, another part of that being a social, and I'll say societal, and I'll say city, and I'll say community impact. Winning is part of that community impact. Broadening and deepening relationships and strengthening relationships with community is part of that impact that is really gonna be very important for us to do.
Yeah, I think obviously we probably don't have time to go over like the merits of the investment as an investment, but I think to me the most important part is that this is much more than just a financial investment. It's an investment in a team, in a community, again, in a city, and we're thinking about it in decades and decades and decades. But even the things that you mentioned that sometimes are used, to describe, kind of this market and this city and this team, to me, those are all opportunities, right? Look at how much we have accomplished, how much this team has accomplished, with those things, being quote unquote a small market and all those things. And I think, to me, the theme is that we have been able to exceed expectations, and we have been able to surprise people, even as recently as the most recent trade deadline, right? Kind of AJ and the team once again, kind of pull some rabbits out of the hat. So we expect the unexpected. We expect, that what sounds difficult and perhaps impossible, we will continue to do that. And yes, there will be challenges along the way, and you mentioned some of them. But those are also opportunities that we have been able to overcome in the past.
Tom Krasvik, San Diego Union Tribune.
Kwanza, your reference to
Okay, careful, okay, thank you.
To dry powder.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dry powder. So if we go back when you were at Princeton,
Yeah.
what skills have served you well in building wealth and also guiding beliefs that served you well, that enables you to buy, control, and share the Padres? Most of us cannot fathom that number.
It's a great question, and from my lens, what you're asking about is some core fundamental values. And I firmly believe that not in instant and immediate gratification. And I think that unfortunately is something that now, and I don't want to just speak negatively about social media, but that's now part of what the culture is. Instant, 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 instant. And if you can't take a moment to say, how do I slow down, map out, have a plan, whether it's a 5-year plan, whether it's a 10-year plan, whether it's what I call dreaming in decades. How do I map out where I want to be and the impact that I want to make? So part of that foundational work for me was about slowing down and also understanding most things that are worth having are not going to come instantly or easily. And that is the same even here. Look at where we are with the Padres. Look at where we are. In terms of what has been able to be achieved, even prior to us, we're 3 days in. But that's what I look at as far as where our opportunity is, and it stems from, again, being able to be patient but not complacent, understanding what your value is and what it is you're able to bring to the table, understanding that you absolutely have got to learn to communicate with people. You absolutely have got to learn to disagree and still move forward in your disagreements and not being afraid to bring up points that you feel strongly about, and also not being afraid to stop and to listen so you can be better informed when you need to be. Because if you surround yourself, and this for me was one of the biggest things, and my parents at our family dinner table conversations, every Sunday we had them. We had family meetings. It was like a training ground for how to surround yourself with greatness and how to understand it, how to see it, how to develop it, and how to develop it in others.
And the other thing I would add is, embedded in your question, I think there's something I want to highlight. We don't take it for granted. Nothing was ever just gifted to us or given to us. We have worked really hard from very early on to get where we are. And you're right. In some respects, I cannot even fathom yet, kind of that we're the owners of this great team. But it was a long journey, and we don't take it for granted. And I think that will help us, in the journey. And the other thing is, even though, yes, there's a lot of success in our story, but there's also been failures, there's also been ups and downs. And again, I think it's how you recover from those downs, the grit, the resilience that allows you to wake up the next day and to do it again and to try again and not lose that hope, right? Not lose the possibility of that dream. And we're bringing those two things, I think, to this team, to this city, that resilience and that feeling or that sense that we don't take anything for granted.
Dennis Lynn, The Athletic.
Hi, Kwanza, Jose, welcome to
Thank you.
San Diego. I'm wondering, did either of you ever cross paths or meet Peter Sunday? And when he was spending all that money a few years ago and attracting a lot of questions and criticism around baseball, did you have any impressions from afar, and did that affect the way you view the Padres?
We're not fortunate enough to meet Peter. Obviously, we have gotten a chance to meet a lot of the family, and we're very familiar with the legacy. As I mentioned before, we have experience in the ownership side of sports, and we understand that passion that kind of enables us when we win or when we lose to say we won or we lost. The it's the same passion that sometimes, the same energy that sometimes get directed at players, at managers, at owners. What I would say is that is certainly part of the journey. The only thing I would say, even when perhaps there will be a day when fans disagree with the decision, or perhaps things are not going exactly as planned, is that we're gonna be right there with them, with you. We're gonna be upset if we're not achieving our goals, and we're gonna be some of the happiest people in the world if we can achieve those dreams. So we understand that journey, and we understand that process, and again, we don't take it for granted.
And Jose, a quick follow-up. You and Kwanza both talked about how this is a personal investment as opposed to investing in Chelsea through Clear Lake. How should fans think about that distinction, and what does that mean, if anything, for how you operate the Padres?
Yeah. I'm missing our first game of the Premier League right now. We talked about this. Listen, I think we bring, in this case, I bring the same passion that I have for Chelsea, I bring to the Padres, but it is different because it is a personal investment. So this is a family investment that involves, of course, Kwanza, myself, a lot of the other members of our extended family. And as a result of that, our perspective is multi-generational, right? Our timeline and time horizon is multi-generational. In all cases, there are a lot of commonalities, which is we're owners, but really stewards of a team, of a club, and we always have to have that really long-term perspective. In this case, we are we're accountable to each other, but in every case, and that's a little different at Chelsea, but in every case we're accountable to the fans, and that, or in England we will say supporters, but that doesn't change. So I think there's some things that we bring to the table and perspectives, and kind of that might be slightly different. But in both cases, I would say our commitment to the team, the club, the London is obviously also a big city, is equal, and our passion is equal. Our time horizon here as owners is probably going to be much longer, and I'm looking forward to enjoying that.
And I've said before that it's patient capital, and there is no exit. Jose and I are answering to each other, but we're also answering to the generations to come. So when you have that longer term lens of things, and you don't have to answer to someone else about that, because I used to say, I grew up like saying, pennies make millions and billions. Not thinking that it's a fast, quick thing. That's what, for me, is one of the distinguishing factors between even having a personal family office investment versus a VC investment or a private equity investment, is we can be responsible in a different way, and should be responsible in a different way. Jose shouldn't be looking at the Padres in the same way that he would look at Clear Lake. It would be ridiculous for him to do that. This is why, if the biggest thing people take away, and maybe your listeners, your readers, your viewers, is it's family. It's one of the reasons we say we're family first, because the lens through which we look at this investment is very, very different. The commitment is very different. The outcomes that we know we want, we always want outsized outcomes, but in here, we really are dedicated and committed to something beyond just a financial outcome.
Marty Caswell, Friar Territory.
Hi, Marty Caswell, Friar Territory on the Foul Territory Network. Chelsea's up 3-2 right now. I'm just wondering, how much more engaged and visible do you plan to be in San Diego because of that personal investment than you would be, say, in Chelsea?
Well, I think we don't need to contrast everything with Chelsea. Chelsea's an amazing football club, and London is an amazing city. But speaking about San Diego, I think we're deeply committed to do more. I think as I think we have commented in the past, we understand that sports is just much more than sports. Sports is just much more than the business. Sports is an integral part of the community, and in this case, the Padres are, I think, one of the pillars of this city and this community, and we're looking forward to engaging in many ways. Yes, kind of being here and maybe FaceTime is important, but also, I don't want to diminish, or actually the opposite. I want to highlight, for example, the Padres Foundation, and I think this is very early in our journey, but I think there are many things that we can do through the foundation, collaborating with other institutions here in this city, to just make the city a better place. And I think that's the goal. That's the goal that we have in life for the world, for the universe, but specifically for this city and this community to, I think we're taking on this legacy at a great time. But I think there's always more that you can do, and you can always live the world a slightly better place than you found it, and that's our aim here.
And one thing I'll add to that, and I kind of half joked with Eric, but was not really joking, is that if you all understand, I'd like to think very critically about a lot of things, and most importantly, very intentionally about a lot of things. So with us wanting to make sure our presence is here, we want to find a place and a space to be here. And although we've spent quite a bit of time in San Diego enjoying it when we come to visit, it's going to be different enjoying it when we have a place and space here. So my joke, but not really joke, is I'm going to ask all of you all, please send out a beacon, tell people to let us know where and what do you love about your neighborhoods, about your cities, about your communities, because we're trying to figure out where we want to be. We know there's North County and Del Mar and Coronado and downtown. There's so many different places and spaces, but we need your help. So help a family member out and give us some tips on where you think would be great, because that really will also help us be even more present here, and we're so excited about that.
Kwanza, you've done a lot with your foundation. What are you planning to do here in San Diego in the community?
Oh, back to what Jose said. First thing is listen. And I've said this before, I want us to go on a listening tour. Even, Eric, if you remember, when we didn't even know if we were gonna be victorious in this, but we had a hope and we had a dream. I had said, hey, if we get this, I wanna go on a listening tour. You were so great saying, okay, if that happens, we'll have some people you can meet and talk to. And for me, when you ask that question about from a philanthropic lens to what do we want to do, it's hard to imagine what we can do without knowing what has already been done. So I want to be able to see where and how and what has been done within the area, within the region. Where are there areas of needs? Already there's been so much that's been done. Again, Peter's legacy in doing a lot with the homelessness. That's one area and critically important with veterans. That's critically important. Education for us is foundational to so much, and San Diego has some amazing educational programs and schools and opportunities. So, there's a term, and when I think we've got a gift, and you all may see it at some point, because Eric told us that we're gonna get a jersey, so I'm very excited about this. And we even got to select our numbers, so I'm very, very excited about this. So the number that I selected was 00. I could have done 1, like we're number 1. But I did 00, and one of the reasons is because there are 0 limits that we have. 0 limits. And there are infinite possibilities. So when I'm answering the question that you're asking about the lens, again, from a foundation or from a philanthropic lens, there are infinite possibilities of what can be done. I want to make sure, and Jose wants to make sure, we are really being intentional and we spend some time and really understand what has been done so we can then see where and how far we'll also go.
And the other thing I would add is that, as part of that, that's important because, San Diego is a great city, and the Baja communities, and also very diverse, right?
Yeah.
And we want to, kind of listen and not every solution, right, applies to everybody. So there are many things I think we can create impact by partnering with people that understand those communities intimately, and we want to respect that diversity of background, opinion, ethnicity, etc. So we're looking forward to engaging, including our Latino community, Asian communities, other African American communities.
And I'll add one final thing, and it's, you can't, from my lens, you don't go to someone's home and start dictating what they should be doing in their home. If you want to be well, we're not guests anymore, but when I look at this, we're not going in and dictating what should be done in the community. We're trying to understand what has been successful. We're trying to listen and see where there are needs. And there are so many talented people, not just with the Padres, but even in the organizations and in the people and in companies, in the for-profits as well as in the not-for-profits, in the San Diego and Baja community. So again, I'm excited about partnering with so many folks.
We have time for a couple more questions. We'll go to John Carroll from KPBS.
Thank you very much. Once again, Kwanza, Jose, welcome to San Diego.
Where are you?
I know.
I'm right
Okay, I have a sign. No, thank you. Okay, thanks.
So actually, my colleague over here pretty much asked the question I was going to ask about community involvement. So maybe broaden it out a little more. You all have both mentioned Baja several times in your comments. San Diego is obviously unique in that way, being a border city. What do you see as unique possibilities in relation to that, two countries, that you can, through the Padres organization, bring to this area? And thank you so much.
Ooh, I'm saying ooh because I want to ask you that question, because I'm convinced you have a great answer for it. Even you're asking it. We live in a world and a space and a place in San Diego and in the Baja communities too, where there is such a sense and source of pride. We see some of our friends from the Kwanza tribe that are here. And you talk about a sense and source and place, and a long-standing place that's been here, that opens up the world and the lens. San Diego, which is why when it comes to people talking about, oh, it's such a small market, and okay, yeah, sure, but not really. It's a gateway to the world. It's global, it's diverse. So when you hear us talking a lot about San Diego as well as Baja, it is to honor and to recognize that again, and I'm gonna go back to our friends, the Kwanza tribe. Think about it. You all were here before a whole lot of us were here. Ancestors and ancestors and ancestors that understood what then was the global nature. We're just continuing all of that and saying, what are those possibilities? So when we look at, I think it's an opportunity to be able to say, we're the only ones out of all of these teams in the league that have this incredible place and space and opportunity. And what it means, even, I thought I had my hat and the jersey on. City Connect uniforms this year. What is that?
I love those uniforms.
Exactly. That's opening up to the world. That's a global gateway. That's understanding that we may be here and we may be San Diegans and part of Baja community, but we're part of something even more and bigger. So I'll let you go ahead and answer stuff because I get real, you can tell I'm really passionate about this.
Yeah, I think, as we talk about, kind of sports being a medium or a way to do good for the community and to have a positive impact, I think it starts here, right? Kind of just as these two communities have been so interlinked for such a long time, we can be a bridge, to that community. And I'll state the obvious perhaps, right? Obviously I'm gonna be one of the few Latino owners in the league, one of the few owners whose first language is Spanish.
You gotta give them a little something. Although I will say, I know we're doing this in English here, but I'm already like, Yo soy la madre de los padres.
I'll do some of my Spanish. I would also like to acknowledge, right, kind of one of our partners, second largest owner in the team is going to be the Harpaloo family, who's already has a long history with the team and has
And are here with us. Thank you all.
yeah, thank you. And it has a storied kind of franchises, I should say, in Mexico. So I think obviously the sports of baseball has a incredible legacy in where I'm from. Not only Puerto Rico but the Caribbean, Venezuela, and other countries. So I think one of the things that's important about sports is that it has the power to unite and to find common ground in a different space and place, like Kwanza would say. So I think the team is already doing those type of things, like the City Connect uniform, which I do truly love. But there's more that we can do, and we're going to bring that perspective, a unique perspective that I think very few owners, if any, in the league have right now. They have their own perspectives, incredibly valuable perspectives, but we do bring a different perspective that I think is incredibly applicable here with Los Padres, right? The only team, by the way, in baseball or in any major league that I can think of whose name is in Spanish, by the way.
Yeah.
So incredibly excited about those prospects, and again, deepening and expanding and enhancing the work that is already being done by the team.
Back to Kevin Acey.
Eric, this one's for you, if that's all right. You've been with the club for quite a while, worked with a lot of owners. I wonder what stands out about your newest bosses?
Well, it's so exciting for you all to hear from them today, because this is the level of passion and competitive fire and enthusiasm that AJ, myself, others in the organization have been able to come into contact with over the course of the process that we went through leading to today. But yeah, this will be the fourth ownership group over 16 years that I've been a part of here, and I can't think of a better fit for where we need to go as an organization. I think we've accomplished a lot. Obviously, we've not yet accomplished our ultimate goal, and I think to take us there, there's no better match than Jose and Kwanza. And we're all just incredibly excited to keep doing what we get the privilege of doing here. Working in professional sports and baseball in San Diego, it doesn't get much better than that.
With that, we will conclude our press conference today. Congratulations again to Jose and Kwanza both. We look forward to seeing you all again very soon.
Can I ask you all to